Guys, your phone is going to be retired or phones will be redundant in the next 5 years. I agree. I agree with Elon Musk. Elon Musk said that, I think, some time ago on a podcast. His viewpoint was that phones are going to be replaced completely with AI, and then AI is just going to go, okay, and just take instructions from us directly. But which I agree, okay, as well. That makes sense. But again, point with Elon Musk really is that he always a bit, he sells his product a lot, and in this point, I think he was trying to sell Grok AI. I was saying that effectively that AI is going to replace phones. And especially if you're going to use your phone, you might as well give an instruction to AI, and AI would know exactly what you want. And, again, look into your patterns, look into your behavior, and decide what you want to do and do it even before you do it. It is possible, okay? And it's not a big leap, okay? People get surprised at that. It's not a leap, right? Because Google already did this already. The predictive search, right? So if you go into Google and you try to search, when you start searching, it comes up with 4 or 5 predictive suggestions on where they think you're going to go. And what happens next? Then you go in and then you see that you're always right, okay, in general, because it looks at your pattern, looks at where you're going, looks at where you are, it looks at your age, your search history, and comes up with that. So don't too crazy, okay? And then I suppose for me then is who am I? So I'm the CEO of Orukka. So Orukka is a smart payment ring. We allow users tap to pay with their rings. So you don't need your wallet anymore, don't need your phones when you're walking around with your bank. Yeah, so that's interesting. Well, I suppose for us then was, what do we do? So we've taken that bet in the sense that we don't believe phones are the future. So I'll talk about this in a minute. But let's go back to Elon Musk, right? So the point now becomes, and people ask this again, they ask a lot of questions on this. They ask a lot of, sorry, someone's just shouting in the background. By the way, I'm waiting on my flight, as you can tell. And I just wanted to do something. So I'm giving back to the community by talking about this. I don't know why she's shouting. She's directly in front of the person and she's screaming. I know why people do that. Anyway, so the idea I was trying to say there is the fact, sorry, I have to go back on my chain of thoughts, is that phones are dying down, okay? And then the question now becomes why. So Elon Musk himself is not going to invest in phones. And it's not because it's dying, it's just because the margins are very low. He does cars at the moment. He sells cars. Cars, again, you're paying for the car up front. And he gets subsidies from the government for cars, okay, on EVs. So he's good. The margins are too small on him. Well, how much is the phone going to cost? $1,000? That's nothing to him. And then of the margins, maybe he'll make about 40-50% margins on the phones once it's landed in the US. That's not a lot compared to cars, okay, and compared to data he can get from cars. So he's not looking at phones anytime soon. But in general, we as a company, we look at phones a lot, okay? And then what I did was, and which is the case for most banks, right? So banks run to phones, right? Every bank is on a phone because you need to have a phone app. And that was the case. So we all think we need our phones. In fact, when I heard that statement as well, the first thing that came to my mind was, "You're right. My phone is going to be here forever. Thank you." But people are forgetting the phone is not the final form. Like, we did something before the phone. The phone was just invented for phone calls, and that's already gone. Like, you could tell you don't use your phone for phone calls, right? So if you don't use your phone for phone calls, what do you use it for? For text? Hardly. So what you do there is actually for social media. Okay, and that's why the phone is optimized. If you look at now, right, we're already at the edge. There has been no revolution on the phone for the last few years. So in the early 2000s, okay, on the 90s even, you had the phone, you had the huge bulk black phone, okay, and you could see that was evolving because it evolved to, your Blackberries, it evolved to Nokia, Motorola, and then places like the things that, which really, really look good, appeal to different audience. Okay, if you love texting, you get a BlackBerry. Okay, if you love your design, you get a flip phone. And the flip phone, again, you had different models you could go with. If you were a gamer, you had a phone as well, which was almost game inclined, that you can play games easily. So I had one of those as well. You switch it sideways and it becomes a phone, which is really, really cool. But then, like I said, it's gone now. So the innovation is gone. We have plateaued. Okay, if you look at it now, I'll try and put a video up here of just what phones look like, or just go to your nearest store and see what the phone looks like. It's all the same as a black box. And what's a black box? A black box is a computer, a TV. So right now, your phone is a small TV that you walk around with and you watch social media, right? Quite risky as well because it's so important, it's so heavy. There's a lot of data on it, a lot of pictures on it, so you don't want to do that. The point I'm trying to make there is the fact that the phone is just a form factor, is a form that we have now, but that's evolved into social media, walking social media. So if it's a walking social media, it's going to be something else in the future. And we're there already because, again, manufacturers are running out of ideas. everyone's just going to make, the next phone that's going to come out is just going to advertise cameras. It's going to advertise screen times. That's all it does now. Again, phones can't even survive. My phone is already 10%, right? So imagine relying on the phone for payments. That's already gone. So people already, I can tell you, people are going on rings now because you just don't trust your phone to stay long all day. Why? Because you're using it for social media. Previously, phones used to be for phone calls. If you're using your phone for phone calls, guess what? It's optimized towards that. And what do? You're able to go ahead and make phone calls for 2 to 3 days on the phones. But now it's optimized for social media. Social media, if you run on it for 1 hour, 2 hours, by 5 o'clock, it's gone. And now you can't rely on that for payments. You can't rely on that for search. Okay. So what will happen then is the future, as I see it, if you ask me, is that it's going to be less screens time, which is already happening. This has no screen. So people are already moving towards this. And this was before us, we had the Whoop band. The Whoop band has no screens at all. So people are already moving away from screens into, let's call it a node, right? And this is what Elon Musk has said as well, is a node. So you're moving towards a node, and that node is actually where you come in and you get the information you need from it. So in this case, you want your health statistics, you get it from your band. Or health, you get it from your ring. You see where this is going, right? So it now becomes a node, a device that you get exactly what you want from it. Same thing as well with this. These are business rings, by the way. So you want a POS terminal, instead of getting a box, you get a ring. You see where we're going with this now. Things are changing a lot, okay? So the way we see it, especially the bet we're taking in Monesave and Orukka. So this is Orukka, by the way. So Orukka rings, our bet is that phones are going to be off as well the next 5 years. There will be no phones. But what you will have would be a device that you can use to do exactly what you want to do for payments or for running. If you're a runner, you use it for running. If you're a runner, you want to make payments while running, then you get a fitness ring plus payment ring, and you do both. Yeah. But not on the phone, because the phone now becomes a social media box that people use just to watch social media. Even WhatsApp is social media because you're hanging around in a group, you're not really talking. There's no information being passed there. In fact, if you ever work WhatsApp, you're warned not to use WhatsApp for work. So it's the social media. LinkedIn, social media. Facebook, YouTube, all of that, social media. TikTok, social media. So right now people are using, we need the social media box. Wherever it's going to be, I don't know what it's going to be. But something tells me it might just be the phone, which we used to call the phone. It will be renamed as something else. But we're getting there, right? And as Elon Musk said as well, 5 years time, I don't think we're still going to use this box because it's just a box now. It's a black box. All the phones are now at that edge. And we'll see. Again, there could be something that we invent. But my point is, I don't see anyone reinventing a phone but the idea of the phone is gone now. Okay, so that's very interesting. Again, the social take on this is still important. Let's not forget that, right? So our phones are just social boxes now. Yeah, there's a strong cultural shift to get away from screen. So if you want to avoid screen, just drop the phone. And then some people will tell me, hey, when I drop the phone, how do I make payments? If I drop the phone, how do I don't know, get into my hotel room? Your ring. Yeah, so we do all that, by the way. So, but there are a few, companies as well that will try to do that or that are trying to do that. So keep an eye on that as well. But the way I see it, right, it's going to be like, let's call it ambient or sort of transitory computing that takes over phones going forward. Okay. So it's interesting. Let's see how it goes, okay? Let's see how it goes. And I still remember those days when we had the Walkman, right? So the Walkman was there, it was for music. Everyone remembers the Walkman. Remember then Steve Jobs came with the iPod. No one could believe it. Because what happened? We had the Walkman, we had CDs that you had to walk around with, MP3 players. What happened then? You had to change from that and we changed into a box. So it became smaller. Now the small box, which are the iPhone, we had the iPhone, the iPod, everything, 3 boxes. Now you minimize it to 1, which you have on your phone. But now it seems to me that the phone is actually getting too big for it. Your data is too big. Right now, I think my phone is 128 gigabytes on the iPhone. Already, it's running out of space. Yeah, so what does that mean? That means the phone is no longer big enough. It could go as far as you want to go, or you just decide, guess what, we need to move to something else. Whatever that is about to be seen. By no payments are gone from the phone already. Join us. By the way, if you haven't ordered already, do join us. Order orukka.com, ORUKKA. Okay, so very interesting. We'll see how these things fade away. Some people might tell me, oh, how about the watches? I think the watch is still a screen, okay? And in fact, the point of the watch, the issue I have with a watch, especially with the Apple Watch and all these watches, is that it's trying too hard to be a phone without being a phone, if that makes sense. So what would happen is you have your Apple Watch, and your Apple Watch also has a box that has a notification. So it's just an inconvenience for you to look at the notification on that watch. Might as well just use. Yeah. Very interesting. Yes. I think that's my flight. I gotta go, guys. I hope there's an Apache in it.